Okay, so that was great practice for all of us. So now we're going to head into our individual activity. So we will be listening or watching a video of someone reading a story called The Name Jar. I'm not sure if you've heard of it before. Um, yeah, so The Name Jar. And I will pause the video in the middle of the story so that you will be given a chance to predict what will happen next. Okay, and so I would like you to write a paragraph answering the following questions, which is what event is most likely to occur, which we just did, and what evidence from the text supports your prediction. So that means you need to really pay attention to the video that we're watching so that you understand what's going on before and you can make an educated guess of what will happen afterwards. Okay. And your paragraph must be five, oops,
Oh,
two.
I've read the name jar before.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. Now you have a clue into what will happen.
Yeah,
Okay.
same here, but it's been a long time.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
forgot.
But
Yeah.
it's it's one of my favorite books. Okay. Does anyone have any questions before we start? Okay. This is the cover of the book. For those who haven't read it yet, or if you can't remember what's happening in the story, I want you to predict, just based on the cover of the book, what do you think is going to happen in this book? What do you think is going to happen in this book based on the cover? It doesn't have to be correct. You can just pure guess because you don't know. Nathan, do you remember though?
Um, yeah, probably like forgot, but I think this is just prediction.
Okay,
I probably forgot.
no
Um,
worries.
so the girl in there, who's
Uh-huh.
probably the main character,
Yeah.
um, may her name may not like her name may not be like found in the name jar. Maybe like that might be the conflict, and
Wow.
then you might I don't know. She might think that she's not really, part of the class or something. Or if
Okay.
it's a class, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I loved how you use the title of the book to help you predict. I also like how you use the pictures and predicted how the girl in the picture is the main character. You use the jar. Awesome job, Nathan. Anyone else want to take a guess and predict what will happen in the story? Eric, what do you think will happen in the story?
Like this girl is going to like put random names in this jar, and then everyone
Mm,
pick one, and then whoever the lucky one is, then I don't know, like
yeah. Uh-huh. That's a really great prediction. Thank you for sharing. Okay, I'm gonna have one more person predict. What about you, Mason? Can you predict what will happen based on the of the cover page, the title of the book? Mason, are you there?
yeah,
Okay, so what can you predict based on the cover of this book what will
no,
happen in the story?
nah,
Yes. Would you like to pass?
pass.
Okay, thank you. Okay, no worries. Okay, let's start this video and then I'll pause it and then have you um answer the question, okay? And then we'll watch the rest of the video together. Okay. Let me just quickly oh, just share my sound, optimize the video. Awesome. If you can hear it, can you give me a thumbs up?
The Name Jar by Young Suk Che. Through the school bus window, Eunhae looked out at the strange buildings and houses on her way to her new school. It was her first day, and she was both nervous and excited. She fingered the little block of wood in her pocket and remembered leaving her grandmother at the airport in Korea. Her grandmother had wiped away Eunhae's tears and handed her an ink pad and a small red satin pouch. Your name is inside, she had said. My name? Eunhae had wondered. Again, she took out the red pouch to look at the wooden block with her name carved in it. As she ran her fingers along the grooves and ridges of the Korean characters, she pictured her grandmother's smile. Is that thing for show and tell? A boy asked Eunhae, surprising her. Eunhae looked up as more kids leaned over. No, it's mine, Eunhae answered, quickly putting the pouch back in her pocket. Are you new here? What's your name? A girl asked. Eunhae, said Eunhae. Eunhae? The girl asked, scrunching up her face. Ooh, Eunhae, some kids chanted. No, Eunhae corrected. It's spelled U-N-H-E-I. It's pronounced Eunhae. Oh, it's you-hey, the boy said. Like you, hey. What about hey you? Just then, the bus pulled up to the school and the doors opened. Eunhae hurried to get off. You-hey, bye-bye, the kids yelled as she left. Eunhae felt herself blush. Eunhae stood in the doorway of her new and noisy classroom. She was relieved that the kids on the bus had gone to other rooms, but her face still felt red. Aren't you going in? Asked a curly-haired boy with lots of dots on his face. You're the new girl, right? He asked cheerfully. Eunhae nodded, and before she could walk away, the boy took her hand and pulled her through the door. Here's the new girl, he announced so loudly that the teacher, Mr. Kokotos, almost dropped his glasses. Mr. Kokotos thanked him and greeted Eunhae. Please welcome our newest student, he said to the class. She and her family just arrived from Korea last week. Eunhae smiled broadly and tried not to show her nervousness. What's your name? Someone shouted. Eunhae pictured the kids on the bus. I haven't picked one yet, she told the class, but I'll let you know by next week. As Mr. Kokotos showed her to her desk, she felt many round, curious eyes on her. Why doesn't she have a name? She heard someone whisper. Maybe she robbed a bank in Korea and needs a new identity, a boy replied. On the bus home, nobody teased her, but Eunhae kept thinking about her name. How was school, Eunhae? Her mother asked when she walked in. Did you understand the teacher? Eunhae simply nodded. She unpacked her school bag and set the red pouch by a photograph of her grandma. I'm glad you are learning English well, her mother said. You must study hard, behave nicely, and get good grades to show that you're a good Korean. I will, replied Eunhae, but I think I would like my own American name, she said quickly. Her mother looked at her with surprise. Why? Eunhae is a beautiful name. Your grandma and I went to a name master for it. But it's so hard to pronounce, Eunhae complained. I don't want to be different from all the American kids. You are different, Eunhae, her mother said. That's a good thing. Eunhae just wrinkled her nose. Later that day, Eunhae and her mother went grocery shopping in their new neighborhood. They passed Fadil's Falafel, Tony's Pizza, and Dot's Deli. A big graffiti-painted garbage truck roared like a lion as it took off down the street. Nothing sounded or looked familiar until they got to Kim's Market. The sign was in both English and Korean. Her mother picked up cabbage to make kimchi, Korean-style spicy pickled cabbage, and other vegetables and meat. She also found some seaweed, Eunhae's favorite, for soup. It made Eunhae smile. Just because we've moved to America, her mother said, doesn't mean we stop eating Korean food. At the checkout counter, a friendly man smiled at Eunhae. Helping your mother with the shopping? He asked. Eunhae nodded. I'm Mr. Kim, he said, And what is your name? Eunhae, she answered. Ah, what a beautiful name, he said. Doesn't it mean grace? Eunhae nodded again. My mother and grandmother went to a name master for it, she told him. A graceful name for a graceful girl, Mr. Kim said as he put their groceries into bags. Welcome to the neighborhood, Eunhae. That evening, Eunhae stood in front of the bathroom mirror. Hi, my name is Amanda, she said cheerfully. Then she wrinkled her nose. Hi, my name is Laura. Maybe not. Her smile turned down. Nothing sounded right. Nothing felt right. I don't think American kids will like me, she worried as she began to brush her teeth. Hi, my name is Susie, she said to the mirror with her mouth full of toothpaste. The next morning, when Eunhae arrived at school, she found a glass jar on her desk with some pieces of paper in it. Eunhae took one out and read it aloud. Daisy. That's my baby sister's nickname, but she said you can use it if you want, said Cindy, who sat next to her. Eunhae took out the rest of the paper. Tamala, she read. I got it from a storybook, said Nate. She was smart and brave. Eunhae nodded and unfolded another piece. Wednesday? Yeah, you came here on a Wednesday, said Ralph. Thank you for your help. A smile spread over Eunhae's face. Ralph quickly said, We'll put more names in. You can pick whatever you like, or pick them all, and you'll have the longest name in history. At 3 o'clock, the bell rang for the end of the school day. Eunhae looked out the window and saw it was sprinkling. It's the same rain, she thought, but in a different place. She watched other kids leaving in groups. Hey, a familiar voice called out to her. Eunhae turned around to see the curly-haired boy again. I'm Joey, he said. And you? Don't you have any name? Eunhae thought for a moment. Well, I can show you, she said, and took out the small red pouch. She pressed the wooden block on the ink pad and then stamped it on a piece of paper. This is my name stamp, she said. My grandma gave it to me. In Korea, I can use it as a signature when I open a bank account or write a letter. And whenever I miss my grandma, I use it to fill a piece of paper. Want to try it? She offered the stamp to Joey, and he carefully inked the stamp and pressed it hard on the paper. The red characters gleamed against the whiteness. Wow, that's beautiful, Joey said. Can I keep the paper? Sure, Eunhae said, and then the two of them shared her umbrella as they walked to the school bus. Every day, the jar got fuller with more names, and Eunhae read them all. She found a few names she liked. Miranda, Stella, Avery. They sounded interesting. I hope you choose the name I put in, Margot told her at snack time. I've put in 3 more, said Ralph. Madison, Park, and Lex, they're my favorite street names. Maybe you should close your eyes and draw a name, Rosie suggested. Ralph frowned. That's silly. What if she doesn't like the name she draws? Well, we didn't get to choose our names when we were born, did we? Rosie argued. Everyone thought about this. When Eunhae got home from school that day, her little brother ran to give her a letter. It was from her grandma. She opened it quickly. It said, To my Eunhae, I hope you are enjoying your new school and new friends. Be sure to help your mother and your little brother. Here the moon is up, but there the sun is up. No matter how far apart we are and no matter how different America is from Korea, you'll always be my Eunhae, your grandma forever. Eunhae took out her wooden stamp and filled a paper with it. She thought for a long time in front of the bathroom mirror. On Sunday, Eunhae walked to Mr. Kim's store. Mr. Kim was helping a customer, but he looked up and greeted her. Hi, Eunhae. Hello, Mr. Kim, Eunhae replied. She felt as if she was back in her old neighborhood in Korea. Hey, said the customer, turning around. It was Joey. Your name is Eunhee? He asked her with his eyes wide open. Eunhee looked quickly at Mr. Kim, then turned to Joey. She nodded slowly. Yes, it's pronounced Eunhee, and it means grace, Mr. Kim added. Eunhee, Joey said slowly, and this time perfectly. It made Eunhee smile. I'll have it ready for you tomorrow, said Mr. Kim to Joey. Thank you, Mr. Kim. See you Monday, Eunhee, Joey said to her. He left before she could ask him why he was at the store. On Monday, Eunhee came to class early to look at the names one last time, but the jar wasn't on her desk. Instead, there was a single piece of paper with a name on it. Eunhee slipped it in her pocket. Where's your name jar? Ralph asked as soon as he saw it was gone. I don't know, Eunhee said. It wasn't on Mr. Kokoto's desk or on any other desk, and it wasn't on the counters or any of the shelves.
Okay, I'm just gonna pause here for now. I want you to predict what is likely to happen next. Where did the jar of names go? Okay, just gonna exit here for now. Okay, and we're gonna come back to it. Okay, so right now I would like you to write a paragraph, 5-7 sentences long. What event is most likely to occur next? Okay, what evidence from the text supports your prediction? Okay, we just stopped at a part where Eunhee couldn't find her name jar, it just disappeared. Maybe you can predict who might have taken it away, where the name jar is. Those are my little clues. Okay, I'm going to give all of you 12 minutes to write. And then we're going to read everybody's predictions and then finish off with watching the rest of the read aloud. Okay, does anyone have any questions?